Sunshines, welcome back to Marisol's Magical Moments. Today is an exciting day on my channel because I have Justine from Life with Justine on my channel.
Hello.
And this is a collab. So today on my channel we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of Disney housing. Alright, so for all of you who are just getting accepted to the program, you're probably thinking about, should I live in Disney housing or shouldn't I live in Disney housing? So I live in Disney housing right now, and Justine lives off-site, so we're going to tell you the pros and cons. So my first pro of Disney housing is it gives you an opportunity to make friends really fast, because when you're with your roommates, you automatically bond with them, and you can meet people from your building, like across the hall from you, upstairs. And that's what I liked about Disney housing, is it's really easy to make friends.
Pro is basically having freedom. So basically not going by any of the Disney housing rules. So that is definitely a huge pro about having your own housing.
My second pro for living in Disney housing is security. So security is really tight in Disney housing, and that could also be a con, but it's a pro because no strangers are going to be like lurking around. Every time you go into Disney housing, you have to show your housing ID, because you'll know no strange people are going to be in your apartment or in like the gated community. Even the Domino's drivers have to be like background checked in order to deliver to your door, which is crazy.
That's so funny. Okay, so a pro is having your own room. So I really enjoy having my own room and putting my own furniture, which is very nice. So I feel like my room reflects more about me, and I just love having my own room. So that's definitely a pro.
Another pro about Disney housing would be the housing events. So every so often, I think it's every week, they have like a different event. Like there's a movie night. The first event was like a big field, and they gave you like free food, and there was like a dance party, which was fun. And again, opportunity to meet new people, and just if you're bored and you don't really know the area because you're not from Florida, you can just go to these events and hang out with people or hang out with your roommates. So that's kind of fun.
Okay, so another pro is feeling more like an adult. So I feel like I did Disney housing my last program, and I'm doing regular housing, and I do feel like I'm more like adulting, and I feel like I'm more like, I just graduated college, so I'm looking to stay here. So I feel like here there's not really rules. I mean, there's certain rules, like certain things, that's just community stuff, but like I feel like I'm more like in charge of my own self, that I don't have, like I'm not babied or anything like that. So I'm like paying rent and like doing all this other stuff and being, so it's really...
Alright, so my last pro, which I think is a big one for a lot of you, and should be like the number one thing, is transportation. So if you don't have a car and you are working for Disney, if you live in Disney housing, they give you all the there's buses in almost every complex, and even if there's no buses that go directly to your complex, you can walk like a block to get to the bus. You can take a bus to the parks, you can take a bus to Walmart, So if you don't live on Disney housing, you either have to Uber or take like another bus, but it's not free. So I think that's a big one.
So another pro about housing is that you could choose exactly where you want to live. You could choose your roommates. You'd be guaranteed that because you're just finding your roommates. And then sometimes it actually is cheaper to live off Disney housing. I technically pay like a little couple of dollars more than Disney housing, but I get more for my money. Like I said, I get my own room, I get more freedom, I'm really close to Disney, which is very nice. So it's really just like you getting more for your money being on off-site.
Alright, so the first thing is about how she mentioned before about being an adult. You want to have like your boyfriend over, your friends stay over, even your family maybe, if they're visiting and they don't want to pay for a hotel. No guests are allowed to sleep over in Disney housing, like at all. There's no exception.
That's definitely a pro about offset, is that I got to have my friends stay over when they visited me, and they get to save money on hotels. I should have mentioned
that. Like no exceptions. And even if you're like, okay, my friend's got a hotel and they want to hang out with me at night, they have to leave the complex by 1 o'clock in the morning. So if you're having a party or you're hanging out late, watching a movie, something like innocent like that, they need to leave by 1 o'clock. And if they don't leave by 1 o'clock and they find out, you can get fired for that, which I think is crazy. Yeah,
terminal offense.
Yeah. So that is definitely a con about living in Disney housing.
Oh, well, I probably should mention the pros too. The fact that I'm less likely to get termed, because you could get termed very easily if you live on Disney housing if you do anything dumb. It wouldn't even be
dumb.
work related. It would just be like people have gotten termed for like, could be like underage drinking. It could be that. It could be someone with sneaking people into the housing.
It could be coming home drunk.
It could be, yeah, coming home drunk. Okay, so a con about living on regular housing is that it's a little not harder to go to the events, but I'm not really immersed with the actual like Disney College program environment. So it's a little harder for us to make friends. But it's partially my fault because I choose to work a lot. It makes me like not available to make friends.
You have me as a friend.
Aww, we met on YouTube.
Yes, we did.
I know, it's not kind of crazy though. So that's definitely a downside of it is I feel like I'm not doing the program. I feel like I'm just working and just having a regular life. So I feel like I know like the program consists of so many more things, but I did take some classes so that I just want to make sure I'm like using, because it's like a fee to do the program, so I want to make sure I'm like making my money's worth, and I haven't gone to one event yet, and it's been 2 months into the program. That's really sad.
Yeah. Okay, second, are we on to second?
Yeah, second.
Yeah. Second con about Disney housing is inspections. So if you're a messy person, don't live in Disney housing. No, I'm kidding. It's not that bad. It's just every like, I don't want to say every month. It's like every so like randomly you can get inspected.
Like a month and a half, probably.
Yeah, like every month or so.
I think I got it twice during my program.
Really?
Yeah.
So every month or so, they'll tell you like this week you're gonna get inspected, and they're pretty like strict about it. Like they go through every room and they'll check like the oven, the microwave, even things like you wouldn't expect.
Sometimes people will fail for not making their bed.
Yeah,
I
if you don't
heard
make
that.
your bed, you can
the
fail.
fancy comes across
And
you.
it's not like, oh, you fail, no big deal. If you fail, you have to pay a fee,
It's
which
so
is
annoying.
crazy.
Luckily,
so even
I never
if
failed.
yeah, I didn't fail either. So good. Even if you're like a clean person, like I like to clean stuff, but like I know some people who roommates don't like to clean. Like, it doesn't matter because you're all in the same house, so you all have to pay for it. So if you have a really messy roommate who doesn't care, that's going to affect all of you, and that kind of sucks because Disney housing doesn't really care. They're like, oh, well, it's all of your apartment. It should be clean. So I find that a little unfair. So I would put that as a con.
So a con is basically, so with Disney housing, everything's already pre-done for you for rent. It just comes from your check. See, for me, it's like, I had to, like, with me and my roommates, we had to figure out, like, percentages on who's paying what. We have to get, like, for utilities, like, everything's included with Disney housing. I had to, we have an electric bill, Wi-Fi bill, other utilities like water and sewage. So we have to add all of that in there, too. And then the electric bill is different timing as the rent, so we have to make sure we're on time for that. So just basically getting all that together. Like
Adulting.
Yeah, so basically before moving in here, we had to get all that together over the summer, and it was a little hard to do that when we're like on Facebook just messaging each other. Like, who's going to have the electric bill? Who's going to do the Wi-Fi? Like, it was very, very stressful for the money purpose of that. I mean, so far it's smooth sailing now. But it was definitely very stressful, and then we had to pay, like, security deposit, and, like, all these other, like, application fee, and, like, gotta get a background check, and it's, like, this whole thing. It was very stressful in the beginning, but once you got it, like, you're good. So that was definitely a con. It was very stressful this summer.
Oh, God. So my third con about living in Disney housing is you can't have any pets, like, not even a goldfish. So I have 3 little puppies at home, and I know 3 is pushing it, but my friend has like 1 cat or whatever, and you can't bring any pets, and they can't even be visiting pets either. So if your family comes down and you have like a little puppy or like a rabbit or something, they can't even like bring it into Disney housing. There is one exception. If you have an emotionally support animal, you can have it, but that also comes with a price, because if you do have an emotional support animal, you have to live alone. So, I mean, it's cool, kind of. You get your whole apartment to yourself, but you have to pay more rent, I'm pretty sure, and you're just lonely because you have this whole thing by yourself with your animal, which I guess some people like, but I would find that as a con. Like, I wish they would let animals in, or at least have visiting animals.
So one con, I'm going to talk about transportation. So, like, I have a car, and so it's, like, it's not really hard for me to get around. But, like, for example, when I had to go to casting and, like, certain things, I was not allowed to ride the buses, which kind of, like, not ruined, but it kind of just, like, wasn't the best experience, because when you go to like, traditions and casting, like, you're with all those cast members, and it's, like, a great experience. It's, like, a tradition, basically. And I wasn't allowed to ride the Disney transportation because I was offsite, so That was definitely a con. I was like very upset about that because I thought I was gonna be allowed to at least do that. Like I know I'm not allowed to utilize the actual transportation, but I thought I would be able to like at least go for the casting together, but I didn't. So that was kind of a con. So that was definitely, I felt like kind of left out.
My last con is paying rent.
Same as me.
Paying rent almost the same amount as living offsite. But you have to share a room with roommates. So, okay, you might be thinking like, oh, well, having a roommate is part of the experience. But I got lucky and I share a room with 2 beds, like a regular dorm room. And I pay rent and it's fine. I think it's awesome. But I like it. So, but I know other people who will have a 1-bedroom, 3-person apartment, which sounds horrible, and it probably is horrible because you're paying the same rent, but you get how it works is there's 1 bunk bed and a single bed on the side, and you have to share that room with 3 people, and it's so small. Like I've been in an apartment like that.
I never seen it yet. I want to see it.
It's horrible. So you have to like fight over the bunk beds, and I don't know. I couldn't live in like one small. It's the same size as a 2-bedroom room, but there's 3 people in it, which is horrible, and you can't decide if you don't want that or not. So when you go to housing and you want to decide your rooms, you'll put like your top choices, but you're not guaranteed that top choice. So I know people who like said like they didn't even put bunk beds as an option and they got it. So you're kind of like taking a chance with that. So that kind of sucks about living in Disney housing if you get one of those rooms, or if you get the 4-bedroom 8 people, because some people aren't comfortable living with 8 people. Like I think that's a lot of people to live with. Like I like mine 3-bedroom 6 people. I think that's fine, but I think 8 is pushing it just a little bit because again it's like the same amount of space except they have an extra bedroom, but the kitchen is the same and the living room is the same. So
yeah. So a con about living offsite is that, like I said before, you get your own furniture. So with that, like, it's fine for like the furniture in my room, but like when it comes to common area, I have to basically like work with my roommates on that. So my roommates, it's just me and another couple. Yeah, I'm a third wheel, I know. And me and my roommates, we get along fine, but we both have completely different styles. Like when I say completely different, I mean like completely different styles. So we basically have to work together on like the living room area and stuff like that, because right now we're still kind of working on it, like 3 months into release. But basically our styles are so different, so it's just like working with like trying to fit both our styles in the living room while making it kind of match and look decent. That's kind of rough. But we're working on it. Luckily, we're both like really like understanding people. But that's like, yeah, that's definitely one con. I mean, Disney housing, everything's already like pre-done. So you're stuck with that furniture and that's fine. Also, but like for us, it's like, do I really want a black? But I really want white. Like my roommates really like black furniture and I really hate black furniture and I really like white furniture, and it's like, we're working on it. So, but we're trying to like, compromise with our furniture. So that's definitely.
Alright guys, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to Life with Justine.
Subscribe to her.
Make sure to subscribe
she's so
to me.
magical.
Thanks again for watching and have a magical day.
Bye-bye.